the UK by the government's Brexit departure transactions, giving interim guarantees for Britons residing in another place in the EU and EU countrymen in the UK. But it yet requires adoption by the UK Parliament and Europe Parliament to be act. So which happens if the UK reaches the March 29 Brexit last date yet in no transactions? A entire army of things would changing night by house script, which critics urge the precipice end. But there we will attention on the position of Britons residing in else EU nation, in the EU 27. On UK-born human beings are inhabitant in the EU 27, time the UK hosts on EU 27 citizens. The departure transactions enables them to hold their present liberty of motion and some EU nationality rights, before December 31, 2020, while the Brexit transfer time ends. As for no transactions, down there is enormous ambiguity on which it will indicate for Britons residing in France, Spain, Germany and in another place. The precedence for largest will be to registry as residents, but the rules, consisting deadlines for office work, differ of nation to nation. It says the EU 27 should accept a pragmatical attitude to providing interim accommodation statute. The committee, the EU execution, has offered visa-free journey for UK visitors to the EU, stipulated the UK reciprocates. It speaks of non-discrimination and complete mutuality and says both of sides purpose to ensure, via their national laws, for visa-free journey for brief-term visits. Yet, how proclamation is not juridically mandatory, it magical out ambitions for the next UK-EU relation, yet to be agreed. By no transactions, the proclamation would be invalid and empty. The UK would once be purified by the EU as a tertiary nation of some non-EU state. So the rules for Britons in the EU could so be the identical as for Americans or China, except several disaster mutual deals are made. No transactions would once hit Britons whose job now conducted them to more than rather than one EU nation. They would no much longer be on a standard game box visible EU countryman, who can readily go to else EU nation and begin a new job down there. For Britons, position Brexit, down there will be more than red tape. Specialists implicated in pot European study projects as well requirement to be capable to journey readily through the EU, frequently at brief note. It is not precise that UK vocational qualifications will be recognized in the EU position Brexit, and defect vice versa. Such detailed information are yet to be agreed. By the departure transactions, UK students in the EU 27 can go on by the present framework. But of 2021 they may person lot high training charges, such how non-EU students include to pay in. Just Germany and Norway, that applies EU rules, propose complementary training for world students. No transactions would indicate the present mutual health share by the UK and the EU 27, would no much longer use. It could email public health insurance coverage bonus steaming for UK countrymen who requirement adequate lid for holidays or job in the EU. No transactions would largest potential latency the register of several medication or supply of them. Britons could discover their Europe Public Health Insurance Coverage Map, EHIC, a certificate to disaster care treat, is no much longer actual in several EU countries. In the EU, public safety contributions are company ordinated. So who has treated in more than rather than term country can do fair one annex to the pertinent agent wherever they are residing while they achieve retirement year. How agent notifies any some EU country wherever the person has treated, and the domestic insurance coverage deposit how same/some paid down there becomes portion of the retirement. How mutuality disappears by a not deal script. It is not precise if any old duplex UK deals in person EU state on public safety will be restored. The UK tax treat of across the sea retirement transfers could changing position Brexit. Transfers of the UK to non-EU countries include been object to a 25% UK across the sea tax accusation with 2017. Down there is no warranty how taxation-free transfers will go on for UK pensioners residing in the EU. which on the EU to 7 countries wherever largest UK countrymen dwell. Of the alleged 310,000 Britons residing in Spain, on 65,000 are inhabitant and in constant job. On a third of the 310,000 are pensioners. No transactions would be lot less than of a issue for a Brit in double ethnicity. But Spain does not enable it, besides for veterans of the 1930s leftward-wing World Brigades and Sephardic Jew who can show a household connect in Spain. For some Britons, purchasing Spanish nationality tool surrendering a UK certificate. Tertiary nation citizens in Spain include to show yearly revenue of at low €26,000, £23,000, $30,000, to stay juridically inhabitant, and how could be a issue for several UK pensioners. Position Brexit. Everything happens, both of governments tell, the overall journey region will stay in strength. How is a ease for Britons residing in Ireland and the human beings of Northern Ireland? By the CTA, Irish and UK countrymen can journey and job easily in both of countries. It is as well recognized by the EU. The big hazard is how no transactions could give behind a difficult Northern Ireland boundary, thing the departure transactions goes to large lengths to hinder, in the contentious supporting schedule. France MPs include given the by the government disaster powers to question decrees in the occasion of a not deal Brexit. The by the government says it will not levy visas on UK visitors, stipulated the UK by the government as well maintains visa-free journey. Britons residing in France are not yet required to register as residents. But register could do it, facilitating to buy or sell a characteristic. Of March 30, in the occasion of no transactions, Britons will include 3 months to register for a new interim accommodation allow. The bureaucracy registration differ of one Deutsche country to the following, by the Fed framework. Berlin has the greatest quantity of Britons, down there has been a big inflow with the 2016 Brexit plebiscite.